Hello, happy Mother's Day to everybody. I hope everybody's having a great Mother's Day today. I thought for this video I would just keep it simple and do a template. I believe we are in template number 4, which is this one right here, the TriFold shutter card. I believe that's where we are. I hope so. Or we'll be doing this a second time, and that's all right. Excuse me. And I'm gonna just first, so I use the embossing tool. That way I don't have to erase lines. My scores are already in my score lines and all of that. So, and this scoring tool fits in here nicely. Now what I did, I started out doing these with my silicone mat underneath because I thought I needed something soft underneath. Well, I'm just doing lines, and I guess I don't need to because I found out that it actually turns out better if I don't put that silicone mat. So, easier to see the lines. I did the whole outside, and now you got to really pay attention and make sure you're not doing the mat and layer lines. Now I'm going to go across. You see there's score lines, 4 score lines. But I'm going to do the big ones first that go all the way across. And this one goes all the way across. And oops, that was a mat and layer line. And now I will do the smaller lines, which are going to be here and here, and then 2 here. And they're the middle lines because these other ones are your matte layer lines. So the middle lines, did I already do this one? This one goes all the way across. I must have. So it's this one here was the other one I was looking for. It's very easy to lose track of which lines you've done to and which ones you haven't. And that's the thing with using the scoring tool or the embossing tool, whatever you want to call it, is that is definitely something that can happen. Now this is showing that this is a cut line, and I'm also going to go ahead and score or emboss or whatever the cut lines so that I can find them and they're lined up where they need to be. So the only lines I'm not going to do are the matte and layer lines. And look, if you want to do that to help you place your mats and layers, then you go right ahead. That's up to you. I just think it would be confusing. Okay, so now we got it all embossed and I can see my lines. Nothing has gone all the way through. And I need to cut it out. So I'm just gonna cut the outside. And most of the time you can do this with a paper trimmer. I'm just doing it basically like a person that doesn't have a paper trimmer, or I always worry about getting my paper trimmer lined up correctly. So I'm sure there's a lot of people that are worried about it, but if you're good with the paper trimmer and you don't have that problem, then I definitely would. You will probably have a lot better lines, cleaner lines, straighter lines than what I'm gonna have. Just don't line up your paper with your trimmer. Line your lines up with your trimmer, because you might not have had the template straight on the paper. So remember that. That's kind of important thing. Didn't do so great right there. Alright, let me do this. Okay, so for me, and I'm not looking at my directions. As a matter of fact, my paper over there is turned towards the decorative side, not the pretty side. But I do know that I have cut lines that I need to do. And I look back at my template, and these lines here are my cut lines. And you have a paper trimmer, take it to your paper trimmer if that's what you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a craft knife. Not very good with a craft knife, but I have always kind of wanted to be able to use one better. And I'm finding that doing these, I am getting better with it. Not perfect still. You can see it's wavy, but it's an improvement in what I used to do. What did I just do? Did I cut two lines too low? No. Okay. That should not be there. No, that should be there. So it should come all the way down. So I need to come down another line. I'm thinking I messed up in my scoring. I made it come down too far, but I did not. So here we go. Whoops. See, it's going quite a ways off here. I did better. Yay, I did better. Still not great, but I'm getting there, and it's getting there, and I'm practicing and all of this. So now we need to see the scores. We need to do, and this one is a little different because usually this tells you mountain and all of that, and this does not say. So let's see if it's in these instructions. Use a scoreboard, use a craft knife, fold and burnish all the score lines. Fold mountain and volley folds as shown on the template to make the card base. It is not shown on the template. So we're going to look at theirs. And this, where it's straight across, and then you've got this, is a mountain. So we're going to fold that up. Okay, up and up. That means this is down, because you're basically going to alternate. And this one will be down. And this one's going to be up. Okay. This one's going to be up. This one's going to be up. And I would assume that this one's going to be down. It's not really making sense. Down and up, and down, down. These are up, and then these this way. So that cannot be right. I guess so, because this card is going to sit this way. It doesn't, it's not a stepper card like this. It's a stepper card like this. See? Now from that, this one's folded too much. Looks like, so that it's going to be one of those cards. I think it's sitting right now. It's standing up. But I don't think it's going to continue. Why did I put that away? I don't think it's going to continue to stand up that great. So if we want to do some mats and layers, I will show you. I kind of want to burnish these lines a little bit better and see how that works. If that's going to help it stand a little better. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over. And now let's see. Maybe. Okay. So now we need to do some mats and layers. Let's see what we got. Nope, that won't work. That's not being this mate. Yeah. Okay, so I want to do some big mats. The background mats, and they never give you that. They only ever give you the inside, the small one, which is fine. But if we want a bigger one, we're going to have to make our own. And so I go through this every time to let you know how I do it. I take one outside line and one inside line. So this is the outside, this is the inside, and that's where I go. So I'll take this outside, this inside. Okay, now I'm going to go on the inside. But I'm going to take it all the way to the outside. Does that make sense? So I did this inside on this side. I used this inside line. And I used this outside line. Since I used this inside line, outside line, sorry, I used this inside line. Here's another mat and layer. So I'm going to use this outside line. Maybe it'd be easier if I said outside, outside, inside, inside. Outside, outside. That's the score line. Okay, these are both outside, but now I'm going to use these inside lines. So basically, it's a little difficult to explain what I'm doing. Like on this one, Your original matte layer that they give you is this size. Now this size here is the size of that section of the card. So if I go the whole way here, it's going to cover up that whole thing. And you can do that. Well, I just split the difference and I take part of the score line and part of the matte layer line. So score line, matte layer line. Score line, matte and layer line. And that's how I do it. That's just what works for me. So since I used this matte layer line, I'm going to now go to the score line. Score line. And since I used here this matte layer line, this one's going to go to the score line. If that makes sense, I hope. Score line. Matte layer line. Okay, I'm going to go to this score line. So I'm going to use this matte and layer line. So it's just giving me just that little bit more. Okay. I bet I didn't do this one. Yeah, I did. And that one. And that one. And that one, did I do this one? Score line. Matte layer. Matte layer. Matte layer. Matte layer. Score line. Okay. Matte layer. Matte layer. Score line. Score line. Score line. Matte layer. Now I also got to be careful that I'm not overlapping them, right? So here I use the score line. I can continue to use the score line for this matte layer, but I'm going to go matte layer here. But I don't want them to overlap. So I'm using this matte layer, this matte layer, this matte layer, this matte layer. No, that should be the score line, I believe, yeah. Score line. I know it's a little complicated, and I'm probably not explaining it as well as it could be explained. Okay, I'm going to use the score line. Score line. Matte and layer line. Matte and layer. And matte and layer. Now, this one's a little bit harder. And I think what I'm basically going to do with this one, ooh, it's not going to fit there. It's not going to fit on this piece of paper. So I'm going to have to do this one different. So let me show you how they cut. Okay. It looks like I used all the outside score lines on this side, so that made it easier to cut. And then here I used the matte layer, and this looks like I used the score line. missed one. I missed that one. So I'm going to try to save that piece and come back. Okay, that's the one that's going to go across. So I'm going to try to save that piece. See, it might not be big enough, and I might just have to do something different there. It would have been okay if I'd have done it at the time, but I wasn't thinking. So it's my fault. I'm going to go ahead and cut these lines because these were done on the same line. And these were done on the same line. Okay, these were done on the same line. That's the thing, if you use the same lines, normally you can just come through and just kind of clip everything out. Okay. But I will come back in just 1 second and show you how this ends up working. So I'm gonna come here. I'm gonna try to not cut this up too much, so maybe I can piece that one together or something. I'm obviously not going to be able to do it from that piece. I can see I'm a little bit off my lines. So I'm just going to try to get it as straight as I can. Okay. So let me show you how they line up on here. So this is going to go in here. See how it's just off that little bit? But that's all it needs. It's just the tiniest bit, and so I can come in now with the regular matte layer and it'll be just that little tiniest bit smaller. See? So it's not the same size as the piece, but it's just the tiniest bit smaller. And then these just the littlest tiniest bit smaller, and I really believe that that's how they do these, because you can see it's just the tiniest bit smaller. So to me, it makes sense that that's what they're doing too. And so I'm going to go ahead and glue these. Might as well, right? We're here. And I like to put where it's embossed, the side it's been embossed on, I like to have on the outside. The edges look a little smoother where it's been embossed. So, if that matters to you. So you can see it's just the tiniest bit smaller. A little bit. Trim that a little bit. I need to trim this one a little bit also. There, let's see if that does it. This one is gonna look a little awkward, but this one I'm not gonna use that side just because I have that extra line that I've put in there. Well, it'll be covered up on it. Okay, it'll be covered up by the next layer. So this will look better anyways then. Still this way. Now that one looks a little bit smaller, but if you can see when I cut it with the thing, I went a little in. So that's why that one's looking a little bit smaller. This one goes here or here. Either. They're the same size. So the one that I'm missing was kind of did both. But then this one, they had 2 mats for. So I'm thinking we might do the 2 mats on both of them. Can always stick them together if you want. Oh, I'm short quite a few of these. Oh no, here's the other one. The other square, but I'm missing one of these, which I can make out of that. And then these. So I'll have to come back and do that. Honestly, I cannot see the score lines, but it does not look square. And that could be my eyes playing a trick on me. I don't know. I guess so. It looks pretty good there. So I need this. Let's see, is that will fit. And that's a middle one. So here we can go over it again. If you like the way it looks, how I did it. I took a score line here. Oh, it's not over enough. Okay, it's gotta be, there we go. A score line. The paper's moving too much. Okay, a score line to a score line to a matte line to a matte line to a matte line. Score line, matte line. So that's a score line, that's a score line, that's a matte, that's a matte. This is messed up where? That's pretty messed up. Okay, wait, I'll do it this way. That was where I had to, where it moved on me. Okay. I just use these lines and then just connect them where they end. Okay. Let's see how it looks. And then this one has the thing, but there will be another layer. So there we go with that one. But it's pretty bright green. Okay. So now I want to do this. But I want to do it like it is here in the two different mats and layers instead of the one. I kind of liked the way that turned out. So let me get that on there good. Okay. I've got a score line to a score line. I'm going to turn it over. I didn't think it was going to move. Okay, a matte line now is where we're going to start. Matte line to the score line to the score line. It did it again. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to do this one first and see if I can get that with the rest of this. I don't think I can. I just know those lines will confuse me. Okay, I'm going to use the matte line to the score line. To the score line. To the matte line. Okay. So I got this part. Look how crooked it was on there though. Ooh, I just made it. barely inside the line. I don't like that. It's already a close enough mat size-wise that I don't like to cut it short, you know, because it's already close enough to the next layer. And you could always take it to the paper trimmer and just trim it up. I guess that would be easier. Maybe than doing all this work and figuring it all out. I did make that bigger, right? Yep. Yeah. And of course you probably glue yours better than I'm doing mine. Okay, so there's that one. And now I need to try to do this one. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Okay. I'm on a matte line, matte line, matte line, matte line. Go to the score line now. And the score line. Please do not move on me. And the score line to the matte line. Okay, this time I don't think it moved, but I sure had to hold it tight. Okay, now I got to be careful I'm not using the wrong lines. I don't know. Just hoping this goes here. And I know it needs to be straight through. So there. And then cut it here. Okay. Hopefully that next layer will cover up those extra lines. And you can see that fits. So there's the first layer of mats on the card. And those are smaller, I mean bigger, right? And now I should decide, am I just gonna do another color? Or am I gonna do a pattern? You know, that has to be I don't like that. I wanted a mellow. I don't think that piece is big enough. I should have had this ready. I'm going to use this, and I think that'll look pretty good together. And of course, this is part of the wildflower collection. But I don't know what I'm going to put on here yet, so I am not going to use this side. I am going to use this side. And this time, I'm just going to use the regular matte layer sizes. So I'm going to skip this one because I'm going to come over and do it this way, since that's how I did it on the card. So I'm just going to use mattes and layers. And I'm going to start here. And I'm going to come over here. And all your matte and layer lines are the inside lines. All your inside lines. And if I'm not sure I did a line, I'll do it again. That's all. It's all three of those, and now I'm going to go over here and do these. And this is the one I'm going to want two of. That I'm going to have to make up on my own. All I'm going to do is probably just put another piece of paper behind it when I cut it. So I'll just cut it separate. And then this one. And something there, but that's all right. Okay, let's see if I can see them. I certainly can. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this here. Okay, this is the one I've got to do a second one of. Basically on my own, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And this one. So those two. Now these I can now. I'm going to take this little square before I lose it. Oops. Nothing on that. And then I've got a little square. Another thing I tend to do, if it helps at all, when I make my own matte layers like this and I'm coming up with my own sizing, the first ones that I already did and glued on, I tend to go to the outside of the score line. But with these ones, I tend more to go to the inside lines, if that makes sense. And the only reason for that is if I want any to be bigger, it's going to be the other one. If I want any to be smaller, it's going to be these ones, right? That's the only reason for that. I mean, I mostly do want to stay on the line, but sometimes it doesn't work that way. So I find if I'm not going to stay on the line, on these I try to go in, on the other ones I try to stay on the outside. I hope those are good enough. Okay, and then, where was the other one? I know there was another piece, but it hadn't been cut all the way out. Here it is. Okay, so I'll line this up here, and now cut it out. Those got a little bit crooked when you cut more than one paper. I don't know why. Oh, that didn't go straight. Okay. That should do it. Now we can layer this stuff. Oh, I think I just dropped one. I'll look at it later. Right now, let's just get these on. If we can. Oops, that's not part of that. Oops. Something wants to stick. Does that go there? Yep. Does that go there? I don't think so. Are they the same size? Two of these. I'm just curious because we kind of should know, huh? If these are the same. They are. So these are the same as these. And there's the big piece there. So I want the flowers on the inside, and the more neutral is what I want showing. And that's just because I don't know what I'm putting on here yet. Oh, come on. Ugh. Okay. I didn't get that on very well. Okay. See, I think without that first matte layer, if you look at how big that matte layer is, I just think it would be too much. You have so much white or whatever your background was showing through. I think anyways. And I think I dropped one that was this size. Where did it go? I don't see it. I could just cut another one. Look at that. That's pretty perfect, right? I'm not even worried about the direction, if it needs to be directional or not. Oh, come on. Don't run out on me now, glue. You can hear it wants to come. It's making that noise. There we go. Now, this paper is from the Wildflower collection, just in case you're wondering. Yep, definitely gonna have to refill this as soon as I am done with this video. Oh, that's a little bit longer. Well, that's all right, I guess. It's just for the video. That's why you should always check, I guess, before you put it on. Come on, glue. And I still have to do those long ones, and I'm running out of glue. Just got to keep holding it, I guess, and do this one-handed so I can hold the glue. Well, shoot. No, there it is. I was going to say I'm short a square, too. Oops, better hold that upside down. Or I won't be getting glue out of it for these ones. Okay. And there it is, mats and mats, not layers, because layers is kind of your decoration or whatever you put on there, but here we go with our mats. So here's theirs. Here's mine. Of course, I don't have my decorations on it yet. I don't know what I'm going to use it for, but it is a cute card. And it does stand nicely after all. Once you put the weight on it, especially, it seems to hold better up. Maybe because the base is heavier. I don't know, but I'm liking it. All right, everybody. If you like my channel, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you join me again. Bye-bye now.